So the grand jury in the case involving Breonna Taylor being murdered by those Louisville police officers unfortunately returned a verdict that really shouldn't be surprising given the racist, white supremacist nature of the police in the United States and the criminal and justice system. They weren't charged. All three of them or four of them got away with her murder. And critics, so this is from Common Dreams, I'll link it down below. Critics of the grand jury's decision were outraged that Heckinson's indictment was not based on the killing of Taylor, murder, who was asleep in her bed when police entered her apartment, but on the firing of bullets into the homes of the victim's neighbors during the raid. I mean, and is it any surprise that there's going to be more uprisings and rebellions happening like this when the straw that broke the camel's back was George Floyd being murdered, being lynched on tape by that cop in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Breonna Taylor was in her home, shot dead by these Louisville cops, and they're getting away scot-free. Like nothing to do with murdering her. They're not being charged anything with that. It's fucked up. It's disgusting. But again, it's not surprising. And electing more Democrats, not going to fix the solution. Mayor of Louisville is a Democrat. They have a Democratic governor. I think their city council is run by Democrats. We need to defund the police, invest in programs of social uplift, particularly in BIPOC communities that have been disproportionately harmed by the police, by the criminal and justice system, and work towards abolishing the police and develop restorative justice methods and things like that. It's disgusting, but I mean, for fuck's sake, how can anybody expect there not to be uprisings and rebellions happening when cops are allowed to get away with murdering people, largely people of color, largely black people? It's disgusting, and it's fucked up. And I mean, how are they not being charged with her murder when the city had to pay out $12 million to her family for this? Believed to be the largest settlement ever reached for a black woman killed by a police officer in the U.S., and to implement several police reforms as part of the wrongful death lawsuit. So she was wrongfully killed, and yet there was no charges brought against these killer cops. Make that make sense. You can't. It's incomprehensible. Again, if you have a badge on, you kill people while on duty, especially if it's a person of color, you're almost guaranteed to not face any type of consequences for that. And again, it just goes to the racist, white supremacist nature of policing in the U.S. Again, Democratic city, Democratic mayor, Democratic governor, Republican attorney general, but electing more Democrats is not the solution. The only way we've seen any type of reform, any change happen for the positive with regards to policing is through direct action. People getting out on the street, people protesting, people fucking shit up, frankly. That's the only thing that the system responds to, is that putting pressure from the outside, because it's clear these Democratic lawmakers and politicians, that's the only thing that's going to affect them when you actually start, putting real pressure in the streets, huge, massive acts of civil disobedience, property destruction, hopefully towards, multinational businesses, things that are exploiting the communities they're in, etc. But as Martin Luther King pointed out, rioting is the language of the unheard, and any rioting, uprisings, rebellions, however you would like to describe it, happening in Louisville or anywhere in the U.S. after this just complete miscarriage of justice happened is completely justified. And if you're getting more pissed off about property destruction than Breonna Taylor being murdered by these Louisville cops who have walked away completely scot-free, then yeah, your moral compass is very, very out of whack, and you might want to get that checked out. So again, defund and abolish. There's no reforming the police. Electing more Democrats is not the solution. Protesting, getting in the streets, forcing the change from the outside, that's the only thing that's going to bring any type of positive change in this area. All power to the people. Peace.